Yeah, so as I was saying, now, please log into your VM and then let's see. I was trying to wait for the others. It looks like they are not joining us anytime soon. So please log in your VM. When you're in your VM, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm already in my VM.
All right. Were you able to access Cisco Umbrella yesterday?
Yeah, I was able to do it.
Okay. All right. So today we'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at Cisco Umbrella, what it is, how we could set it up, and how important it is for us as security administrators. Okay. So I was just thinking that maybe the others could join us before. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the really I wanted to share my screen, but my network keeps on messing up and my VM keeps on disconnecting and connecting. That's why I haven't shared my screen. That's why you haven't started. Okay. So let me just do this for now, and then I will just go into my VM and work on the later on. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Now, when you go to the dashboard, what do you see? Is it what you see? What is
Yeah,
are you at this place, this side?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So perfect. So now, do you have any understanding of what Cisco Umbrella is used for? Do you have any idea of what Cisco Umbrella is used for?
Um, I think last time Kwame said something about companies preventing their clients from visiting some websites. I think it helps with that. I'm mistaken.
Yes. That's what it is. Right? The idea is that there are some websites out there that you don't want your workers to visit or you don't want your staff to visit. Now, there are many reasons why you wouldn't want them to visit those websites, right? Maybe an example being that these websites, you feel that they are malicious or they might contain something. And based on the social engineering attack we're looking at, we're talking about Watson Hole attack, we're talking about credential, so we're talking about farming, typo squatters, we're talking about all these things where they'll try and trick us into connecting to websites like that. Now, you as a security administrator must protect your organization in such a way that you don't tell your workers don't visit these websites. We are human, so you must put things in place that would tell them or that would prevent them from visiting these websites or these places. And that is what Cisco Umbrella is for. Now, mostly Cisco Umbrella works at the DNS level. And when you talk about the DNS level, most of the time, whenever we are visiting any website, I explained the last time that it will take us through the DNS first before we go to our website, because we don't know the addresses of the website in our head. Every website has an address on the internet. Right? We don't know this off head. So whenever we send a request that I want to visit facebook.com, we visit facebook.com through a DNS. So it is a DNS system that will look for the address of Facebook and take you there. Now, whenever we put this layer works on that level where before it is sending you to the website, it will pass through Cisco Umbrella. And if Cisco Umbrella has said that, hey, your company is saying, do not visit these websites, we are not allowing you to visit this website. That's the idea. That's mostly how Cisco Umbrella works. You see. Now, how how are organizations able to protect their workers from going there through Cisco Umbrella? The most important thing is to add those computers under Cisco Umbrella. So if we are able to add those computers under Cisco Umbrella, we know that those computers are protected at the end of the day. So if you go into Cisco Umbrella right now, click on roaming computers here. So if you log into your Cisco Umbrella, just on your left-hand side here, right, click on roaming computers. You will see these test servers with the name. So test USA, like we're doing with the semantic. Now I want you to come here and choose one of the test servers that you like. So just choose one of them. And after you choose one of them, I want you to also find the IP address of this test server by going into your semantic. So after you log in here, also go to your semantic and after you choose the server, so let's say you are choosing test server USA 1. When you choose this server, right? When you choose the server, you have to also go into semantic and find out the IP address of that particular server. I hope you can do this, Otno.
Yeah, but is it the test service are those the same ones we picked on the semantic?
Yes,
Oh,
these are
okay.
the same one. So just pick one, go into semantic, and then find the IP address. When you are able to find the IP address, let me know, and then we start today's lesson. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I found it.
Okay. So what was your choice? What did you choose at the end of the day?
Sorry,
What server did you pick?
it was server 6. Oh,
Right. So server 6. All right. Perfect. So with with umbrella, right? The most important thing is to add these computers. Now, it can affect a lot of computers, a lot of systems, because you are blocking these computers from visiting the internet through the DNS level. But let's say that how do I get these computers under the command of Cisco Umbrella? Or you need to install something like an agent. So there's one way that Cisco Umbrella can work, where you go in there and then you would install an agent. The moment you install an agent on those computers, you will deploy them from Cisco Umbrella and you install them on your system, right? The moment you do that, these things are captured. Okay, yes, these agents are captured and they capture the computers and the computers become part of, let's say, your organization's Cisco Umbrella. So now this is what you've done for the test servers. We've been able to set these test servers up under Cisco Umbrella, and they are all showing here like this. Now, one thing that we can do, the most important thing, or one thing we can do, one thing that we can do here, right, is to group them or to do something called tagging. Now, the idea of tagging is that you want to make sure that, or you want to create a group, or you want to assign a tag, or you want to be able to identify an agent easily by putting them under a tag. Now, a tag can range from the fact that maybe you are grouping them based on department they find themselves in. So let's say that, well, in your organization, definitely there are different departments. So you'd want to say you want to create a tag for computers under maybe the marketing department. Maybe the marketing department, the workers there like to watch sports, and you don't encourage them visiting sports websites during working hours. So on their computers, you are going to be blocking sports websites that they likely like to visit. So you want to block them from visiting those sports websites. And then you want to assign a tag. You want to assign a tag that's with that tag, you would group maybe all computers under the sports or people who work under the sports. You could take all of them and put them under a tag. Right? So you said you chose test server 6 like that. So let's say that I have decided to choose one, or let's say let me choose 5. I decided to choose 5. If I click on the arrow down, you will see more information about this particular computer. You will see a few things about the computer, and you see that the DNS level is protected. Right, the DNS level is protected. So we know that whenever, or in terms of DNS system, anything we do on that particular computer, it would pass through Cisco Umbrella. And if there are any rules or if there are no policies that will block the website or allow them to just go through, that's how it works like that. Now, what I wanted us to be doing, or the first thing that we can do is to add a tag here. Okay, a tag here. So if I click on add tag, I can then add or create a new tag to assign to these computers. Now, the moment you do add tag, you will see list of tags already in your system, or you could create a new one. If you don't see anything and you want to create a new one, the best thing that you can do to create a tag is to type the name of the tag you want to create. So let's say I want test server 5 to be grouped under, let's say, important computer. So I will just type in important. The moment I'm typing in important, the tag is being created for me. And you see that create new tag for what important computer. So that is how I am deciding to name my tag. So I'll do this, right? And I'll create the tag for that. Once you do that, network issue. Okay, so once you do that, the tags are added automatically and the tags are saved. So let me just refresh my network and now try using your test server 6 to create a tag, and let's see. While I just time.
You just create a tag for my server.
Yes, name it maybe Arsenal's computer as the tag name and put it under your
tag. Okay. Server 6.
because there was no tag in the system already. It has added important computers to all of them. So I can just go in and then remove some of them. Yeah. I'll just remove this one. I just have to go in and remove some of them and then just leave only the test server file. So you can do same for yours. Create a tag for that. I think it will work regardless. You could create more tags for more computers. So one computer can have 4 or 5 tags. A computer can be, let's say, part of marketing tag, or it can also be part of IT tag. It can also be part of the whole company's tag. So if we create multiple tags for one computer, regardless, it will work without any issue. But let me just delete it and leave only 5 and just leave the rest. So this one is gone. Right. Okay, you created Arsenal servers. Okay, perfect. Let me just remove it from the rest. Okay, so now we have important computers and we have Arsenal servers. So this the important computer is mine. This is for you, Arsenal. Perfect. Now, the moment you do that, you get to see that we have created our tags, and then you could go in and even look for the things under our tag. You could even go in and search using the advanced settings to look for tags, so let's say you want to search based on a tag. Let's say you want to see the computers under your tag and see what is on them. You could just go into advanced search and say, hey, I'm looking for Arsenal tags, or sorry, Arsenal servers or Arsenal computers. Let me see the number of agents being individual computers. Let me see a number of agents under Arsenal's group or Arsenal's tag. You could go in there, do more information, and see what applies to all of them. Now, we have to be able to be grouping them. So grouping them, very, very, very important. After you've grouped them, you could use this tag to create a policy at the end of the day. Because without these tags, it will be difficult, or if we are creating a policy, it will be difficult for us to do that. Now, let's say, like I was saying the last time, that maybe you want to create a tag, you want to create people sport. So people sorry, people in the marketing department, they like to watch sports a lot. Right? We like to watch sports a lot. And you created a tag, let's say marketing department, and then you are blocking sports website on their computers. And you can do that separately for them. And let's say you want to also create another tag for, let's say, people who work as the HR. Maybe there are certain websites that you don't want people working at the HR to be in. And that is just one thing. You don't want that. You would create a tag for each group, assign them to it, and create a policy for each group. So each our group will have a policy where we are blocking, let's say, maybe Amazon.com. And then the marketing people will also have a policy where we are blocking maybe www.football.com or something like that there. So that you are blocking them there and you are blocking these people to other. That is actually what they're going to be doing. All right. I think Bernard just joined. Please, Bernard, log into your VM and log into your Cisco umbrella if you were able to do that yesterday. Were you able to do that? Were you able to go into your Cisco umbrella?
Yeah.
Okay, so in your VM, open
Okay.
Cisco umbrella, take you to what we just did so that you can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Let me know when you are in.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so as we are waiting for Bernard, now try logging into
Yeah, I'm trying to get email so that I could get to what you call to get to Cisco, but it's not popping up. I don't know why. My email is not
okay.
popping
So
up in
what
the
you can
VM.
do is what you can do is go into the student portal on a website on a browser in your VM and go into tools. Okay,
Okay.
so you see Cisco Umbrella as part of the tools, and then you click
Okay.
on it and then you log in, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, while we are waiting, can you please log into the test server that you chose? Now that you have the IP address, log into the test server from your VM using remote desktop. And let me see if it
Yeah,
works. Okay.
I didn't log out yesterday, so when I just logged into the VM, everything was still there.
But that test server was still there, right? The one you chose.
Yeah, yeah, the test server is still running.
All right. All right, perfect. Then let's get so that we move together.
For keeping you guys waiting. Please, I'm in the dashboard now.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so once you're in the dashboard here, on the left-hand side of the screen, click on roaming computers here. Okay, so if you click on roaming computers, you will see everything there. It's still added them to the important computers because that was the first one I created. Okay, that won't be any problem, but I'll just work on that later on. Okay, so I want you to choose one of the test servers. So we have test servers from 1 to 10. That's the same test servers we're using for the Symantec. I want you to choose one of them and find the IP address of that one particular test server. Okay. I hope you'll be able to do that using the Symantec way. You go into Symantec, click on that test server, find the IP address just like we're doing last week. So let's see, Otnel has chosen test server 6 here.
Yeah,
Right. So you choose
mine was 3.
3. We have chosen 3. Now, do you know what Cisco Umbrella is used for? Do you have an idea of what Cisco Umbrella is used for?
No, not at all.
So when we talk about Cisco Umbrella, it is a tool that we cybersecurity we use to protect our workers or our staff or our organization from visiting certain places. Now, Cisco Umbrella works the DNS level or the DNS layer of a computer or of a system. Whenever we are like, let's say, Facebook.com, right? We don't know the address of Facebook.com. Everything connected on the internet has an IP address. Everything connected to the internet has an IP address. Websites also have their own special IP assigned to them, but we don't know that. You only know of the link or the URL, the Uniform Resource Locator. We only know of www.facebook.com. We don't know the rest. We don't know what it's facebook.com or where facebook.com is hosted. We don't even care. We will open our browser and we'll type in www.facebook.com and will take us there. What takes us there is the DNS. The DNS is a system that looks at our requests, look at where we are going to, and will take us there. So whenever you type in www.facebook.com, it'll patch the DNS. The DNS will take your request, send it to facebook.com. Now, Cisco Umbrella works on that level where before it sends you to Facebook.com, it'll first check with Cisco Umbrella. Cisco Umbrella is mostly used to block websites. There are websites out there that you don't want your workers to be visiting. Maybe those websites are malicious. Maybe those websites, you just don't want them to be there. Maybe it's website that takes productivity away from them. It's a website that hackers can use to get access to the organization. These websites are bad. That's bad reputation, or you don't trust them, and you don't want your workers to be visiting there. You are blocking these websites, or you are blocking your workers from visiting, right? And Cisco Umbrella is like that. So we use Cisco Umbrella to block websites, and we block them on a DNS level, on a DNS layer, you see. And how Cisco Umbrella works is that we need to install agents on them. So for each computer you want to manage under Cisco Umbrella, you need to set the Cisco Umbrella agent on it. You will install the agent. And as you install the agent will configure the system or configure the computer and bring it under the Cisco Umbrella. So whatever you set, whatever you do here would affect those computers because there's an agent on them. You see, that's how Cisco Umbrella works. So it is just there. We use it to block certain websites. And the reason can be malicious websites or website that is illegal or website that you don't want your workers simply to visit, takes productivity away, or certain things. You just block them with Cisco Umbrella. Now, one of the most important thing we can do with Cisco Umbrella is the tags. A tag is a way of grouping computers because maybe you have large organizations. You have maybe 50 computers. You want to group them in a way that you can manage each group differently. Maybe you have 20, like I said, you have 50 workers, right? And out of the 50, you want to group them 10, 10, 10. Maybe the first 10 is computers for people who work in a department. Maybe so you want to block these certain websites for these departments. And the next department, let's say finance department, you want to block certain websites on their computers. Maybe you don't want the same website to be blocked on, let's say, the legal department. So you want to create a different group or a different tag to assign these computers under them so that it is easier for you to manage, right? That is what it is. And we created a tag. So I created the first tag in a system that is important computer. So it has added every computer to important computers, right? Now, since you said your test server is 3, I want you to create a tag for your test server. So when you do that, you click on your test server and know that one computer can have multiple tags. So one computer can have multiple tags. I'm repeating. So if your test server is 3 and you want to create a tag, you just click on this one. You go down and you see tag here. So you go down and you do add a tag. The moment you do add a tag, you would create your own tag by typing in the name of your tag. And I want you to name your tag, let's say Bernard Server. So create a tag and name it like, let's say Bernard Server. Like this. And when you are done, you just click on this one. When you're done typing, click on this one, and that will be all. You see. So I've already created a system tag that will be used for every computer, but create your own one. And once you create your own one, you could just remove it or add it to your computer here. You see your computer here, which is test server 3. You see, so create a tag for test server 3. And when we refresh, you'll see that test server 3 is under, let's say, Bernard servers, because we want to create different groups so that when you're creating a policy, your policy would only affect your group or your server. You could add 2 or more computers to your group if you want. You could add maybe a second computer. You could add a third computer if you want. You see, all by just going in there and doing a tag. So if this is your test computer that you chose, just right click here and just do add a tag. And once you do add a tag, just type in the name of your tag, the new name that you're choosing. So if the new name is Bernard Servers, just like Otnell has done his, just type in Bernard Servers in there and just click on save. So Bernard, once you are creating a new name, it will say you want to create a new tag like Bernard Server. When you are done typing the name, click on this one, click on this one, and then test server 3 will be added or will be tagged under yours for you. Okay, so just do that and let's see.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my dashboard, I see overview, deployments, policies, reporting, admin, but I don't
Okay.
see the roaming computer.
Okay, so you click on the deployment, click on this arrow. Once you click on the arrow
Okay.
of the deployment, see roaming computer.
Okay, I
Yeah.
see computer. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Roaming computer.
Okay. So with three, right click. Okay, add a tag. Relax. Server. Okay, done.
Okay. So the moment you refresh it, you will see that your tag has been added. So I'm just trying to see if on the system. Yeah. So let me see test server 3. Okay, Bernard servers is here. All right, good. Now we know how to do that. So you could add, let's say, test server 2 to Bernard's tag. And I think we understand that now. You could go to add tag because we created Bernard server, you could just add it, or you could just add it to a different one. So you could create tags for different groups or for different computers, one computer can have different tabs, you see. And then you could come in here and you could search. If let's say you are looking for a particular computer, you could search by looking at the tag, and it will bring those computers under the tag, and so on and so forth, you see. And that is just one thing that we could do. Now let's go in there and set the policy. So you go in here and you want to set a policy that would affect Bernard's tag and Ordinal's tag. We want to, let's say, block one website, or want to block certain websites for these groups or for these tags, so that any computer under that tag or under that group would be affected. And once you click on the policies here, click on the policies, you see a lot of things. But the one thing I want you to check or want you to go to is all policies. So once you click on the policy, or you click on the policy tag or policy bar, or let me say menu, you click on all policies to see if you have policies in the system. Yes, they will load for some time. So let's just give it some time. If it doesn't load, maybe it means that there's no policy in the system. Then we will go in here and add a new policy. So we want to add a new policy for our tags that we just done right now. And then we will test those policies by logging onto those test servers and visiting the website that we will block at the end of the day. So here, you will click on add a policy. So I'm just doing it, and then you guys will follow through and you create your own policy at the end of the day. So I'll click on add policy. And once you click on add policy, it will ask you, what computer do you want to protect, or what computer do you want this policy to affect? Then you scroll down and you see the tags in here, and then you go into the tags. And once you go into the tag, you see your tag. So let's say that I chose important computers. Let me just do important computers. The moment I do important computers, it will take all the computers under the tag we just created, and this policy will affect all of them. You see, when I'm done, I will not save the policy though, but this policy will affect all of them. Okay, then you go on to the next one. The next one is looking at a few questions that it will ask us. Okay, so let's look at that. I think my network is still this way. Let's look at that. All right, so here is where you want to add a few changes and say, or you want to tell what should this policy do. Okay, so now you want to say that you want to enforce security at the DNS layer. You see, that is the best thing. And when you talk about the DNS is the system where your request will pass through before it will take you there. Okay, and that is just there. So you enforce security at the DNS layer. And then you could also add that you want to block certain sites based on the content on those websites. So that, let's say, if you are blocking gambling websites, any website under gambling will be blocked. You this time you're not blocking a special website, even though you can do that later on, but you want to also have a group, or you want to also have a privilege to block, let's say, adult websites, so that you don't want your workers to be visiting adult websites. You don't want your workers to be visiting a gambling website, a sports website, a blogging website. That is what you can do. You see, and all these things are something that you can add. And the best thing is to make sure that these things are all selected before we go on. Just make sure these things are all selected, and you just go to next. Okay, and you go in next, and here is where you would block the website. Okay, now you see you want to block a website that might contain malware. So once you click on the shield will be added. So once you can see, okay, you want to block the system, or you want to block websites if it contains malware. You do that. If it's a command and control, who here remembers what command and control is? When you talk about command and control, CNC, what comes in your head? when you talk about CNC, command and control, what malware is associated with command and control, or what group is associated with command and control? Bernard and Otno, what malware or what term is mostly associated with command and control?
Authority.
You're talking about malware. When you're doing malware, where like where
Is it,
established,
is it ransomware?
no, not ransomware, that establishes or that talks to command and control and them so that if they want them to do other things, they do it for them. Okay, so that's malware is a bot or a botnet. The group of bots are botnets. So bots establishes control, or the bots are able to receive commands from command and control centers or command and control servers. You see, that is just what it is. So here, you could say that you want to edit and you want to block certain things. You want to block websites that can be used to do crypto mining. You want to block websites that exhibit suspicious behavior. So here, potentially, you want to block them. And you want to block website that exhibits dynamic DNS. Dynamic DNS means that these websites change. It will be here and it will change. It will say, okay, it is good, but it would change itself or will change its IP address. So let's say you block it, you block the DNS, you block the DNS system, and it will change the DNS system. So you want to block these websites based on them or based on a few things. So you could select a few things, but also you could also say new domains. New domains being that hackers will create a fresh website for, let's say, a job or for a particular reason. And you want to block new websites. You want to block newly created websites because maybe this website was created purposely by an attack. Mostly they will want to scamming people and they will create a website that they will use to scam people, or they want to put a malware on some website and they will create a new website. So here you could also say you want to block these websites and you don't want any issue. Every recent website should be blocked because these are often used in attacks. You could just do that. But then for the purpose of today's class, we'll just use the three. Or let's just use the three. Let me just use this one. Okay, let's add this one. Potentially harmful domains. Let me just add 4. So you go in there and you do 4 and you click on save and you continue. Right? And you click on save and then you click on next. We are going on to block website based on its categories. So we have high, moderate, low, and you could customize it. When you select high, all websites that falls under these categories will be blocked. So adult websites, alcohol, cannabis, child content abuse, dating. If you do high, that means you want straighter security. What it means is that this policy would block websites under here. Maybe you don't want that. So you look through, okay, I don't want this. There's social networking here. And if social networking websites are blocked, maybe my workers cannot visit social networking sites, and you don't want that. Here, power transfer, maybe you don't want that. Maybe gambling, or it depends on what you want. But let's say you don't want the high, you click on moderate. Under moderate, these are the websites that will be blocked under here. Okay, so weapons, extremism, terrorism, gambling, these websites will be blocked as part of the policy. And then you could go on to low, and low, these are things based on what you want, based on the groups that you want. You could select based on high, moderate, and low, or you could customize it. Once you click on custom, you would personally select which category of website that you want to block specifically. So if it's alcohol, adults, you just do that. You see, you just do that personally, and you create or you block based on a group. But I'll just select maybe low. So for now, I'll just select low. You will select something else that matches your policy or that matches what you are trying to achieve. Then you click on next here. And then these also come like the same thing. So these are also the same thing that if you want to block. And this mostly counts with applications. So which application do you want to block on this particular system? So peer-to-peer, social networking, and under here, you will see different groups there. So you could, just like the same one, and mostly this is a new feature added. You could also select maybe database management websites or database management applications, e-commerce applications, and anything under here, you can select it yourself. So if an MSQL, games, anything, depending on what you want to achieve at the end of the day. So under the games, maybe you want this, you don't want that. You block, you allow. So these things are also applications that you want to control, applications that you can set that you can block here or allow in your organization. And once you select that, you click next. Why is the next? Because I have this link here. And these are a few gaming websites that if you want to block them, typically on your system, and you will just do that and it will be blocked. All right, let me go on here and click on next. So this following website will be blocked. Do you want to do that? Yes, no. Let me just go back and select that. Well, before and let me see. I think I selected one. Let me just turn this off. And let me click on next. And then once you click on next, you here you could create a group. And this group, what it means is that the global allow list and the global block list. Let me explain the two. So the global block list and the global allow list refers to all websites that you would personally block. This is personally, or this is manually block. And the global allow is all websites that you will personally allow. You see, now, whenever you want to block a website manually, should it be under global allow list, or you could create a new list to manually add your website that you'll be blocking? You see, that is what add new list mostly is. So let's say that the global allow list means a big folder that contains everything you allow or any website you allow. And the global block list is a big folder that contains everything you block. Now, you want to manually block something. Now, whenever you block, whenever you allow, it will be under this big folder, global allow and global block. But you want to also create a subfolder that you will be able to maintain so that whatever you block will be under those folders. Whatever you allow will be under those folders so that you can go in, manually remove or manually edit. You don't want it to be part of the global allow list, or you don't want it to be part of the global allow folder, that big folder. You don't want it to be there, then you do that. But aside that, you click on next. So here, for now, just click on next for today, right? Then here is where you go in and say, what message you want to show people when the website is blocked by Cisco Umbrella. You see, so what message? I think this should be open in the VM, but that's why I'm having an issue. But what message? You could preview block it, I think, with your account. What message do you want to see at the end of the day? So let's see if a worker is visiting a website that you've blocked, what message should it show? That, hey, this website has been blocked by Cisco Umbrella. That's the default one. Or you could customize your own message where you could create a new appearance and type in, hey, this website has been blocked by your administrator. if you want this website unblocked, please contact. You could do that. You could manually create your own message that, hey, this website has been blocked by, let's say, your organization, or based on our organizational rules and policies, workers are to be refrained from these websites, and that is why this website has been blocked. And that is what it is. So if you do that, you go to Nest and you click on Save, and that is how you could go on and create a policy. So to create a policy, you go here, add the policy, select your tag. I'm going over one more time. Select your tag, and based on your tag, so add computers under your name or under your tag. And once you do that, you go to Next. So let me just use Hotmail servers. You click on Next here, and then I'll prefer that you leave them and apply all these things. You go to Next again, and these are certain things that you could edit. Just edit and add what you want to add. Maybe newly seen domains, maybe crypto mining, website that allows crypto mining, these things. So you want to block all those things and click on Save, and then you click on Next. Now, categories of website that you want to block. So high, if it's under, or if you feel like high, it's okay. Moderate, low, it will block all websites under these categories: adults, extreme, child abuse, weapons, anything based on what you want. Or you could customize and you could go in here and manually block these websites personally. So you could select them and then you go on, and you go to Next here again. And here, these are a few web applications online that you could block them to. So if it's a game, these web applications are hosted on the internet. If you want to block them personally, it has given you some of them. So Cisco Umbrella in this nature has given you certain places where people go and play games. If you want to block these sites, you just go in there and you block them. You see, if it's an educational web application that you don't want your workers to be going into these web applications, you will just block them. So Coursera is here. So if you want to block Coursera, you do that, and you could go in and look in and personally block a few things. Yeah, so let's say travel. You don't want these things on your system. These are web applications, and these are web application categories. So Airbnb, Apple Maps, all these things, you know what you want. So based on the things you want to block them, you click on Next. So they are making it easier for you to be blocking things here. Now, under here, the global allow list and the global block list, like I said, this is where you manually come in here to block things. With the global allow and global block, you go in personally to block it. And if, let's say, all those things that they are giving you alone now, you want to personally block one website, two, three websites. So let's say you want to personally block MyJoy Online. You see, MyJoy Online was not part of the categories. You want to block MyJoy Online, and you want to create a group or a folder that will house all your manually blocked websites. You could create it here. Once you go to add a new list, what is the name of the new list that you want to block? Yeah, you see, and then if it's a global block or a global allow. So let's say that personally, under this policy, I want to create a group that would manually house my list, or my list that I'll block. So if it's a block, you do block. If it's allow, you do allow, and you do that. You could also add your own domains here. So what domain do you want to personally block? If it's blocked, what domain do you want to personally block? So let's say www.myjoyonline, like here, myjoyonline, and if I have it correct, myjoyonline.com, and then you add. You add it, you create another one, you add it, you create another one, you add it, you add as many things as you want. And this will manually house your list. So let's say if it's allow means these are websites that you want to personally open. But even if you are blocking all gambling websites, you are allowing this particular gambling website. Even if your categories were, yes, you are blocking all maybe social networking websites, but you are allowing these particular websites. You could use a domain or you could use an IP address, so on and so forth. And that is what these lists are. So with a list, it's making it easier for you to manually add the destination you want to block. And you could do that by selecting a name. So you could do your name. So let's say if you want to create one website that you block, use your name as a list here and make it blocked. So let's say Otnel's website or Otnel's blocked website, like the maybe Bernard's blocked website. And you do that, you manually add your website here. You see, and then when you are done, you save it and you go on to the next one. And this is the appearance. So let's say if I added my Joy Online and I have blocked my Joy Online on these computers, on the agent, on my systems, and I'm saying that, or somebody visits my Joy Online, what message should it show them? So once you try visiting my Joy Online, you'll see that a message will pop up on your screen that, hey, your administrators have personally blocked this website. Cisco Umbrella has a default one. I wanted to preview so that you see. Cisco Umbrella has a default page where you could see. You see, and you will see that and it will display every time anybody goes into a website that you blocked it or you've allowed, you blocked it personally for blocked pages only. So you could customize and create your own message. You could create your own message that says that, hey, what do you want to do personally on the page? So here, this is what something you want to type. So show this or show this message. Domain has been blocked by our network administrator, or you could type your own thing here and say, based on our company policy, certain websites do not, or these websites do not match our organization policies, so it has been blocked. Please contact your administrator. You could even add a name. You could even add an email address. That's contact this email address if you want this website to be removed for you so you can personally visit them, or send a reason to this, or send a reason why you want to visit this website to this particular email. Or you could also redirect any user who visits the website to maybe your company's website or your company a different place. Instead of it to take them to my Joy Online, it will take them to this particular place. All right. And also allow block users to contact the admin. So the admin's email address is here. So you could put in your email address because you are the admin. So put in your email address and say, hey, this website has been blocked. Please contact this email address if you want this thing to be unblocked or something like that. Or if you have a reason why you want this thing to be unblocked, do that. And it could show a logo. So you could put in a logo here and say maybe company logo. And the company logo will show that the logo will be big, and then what you type in here will be under the logo. If you want to do that too, fine. If you don't want to do that, you could go in with the default Cisco Umbrella appearance. And once you are done, you click on next and click on save. And then you activate this policy. So what I want you to do next is I want you to create a policy for yourself. And the policy should factor your tag you created. So create a policy and customize it based on how you want. So let's say you want straighter security. I want you to create a policy and I want to see your policy here at the end of it. So I'm giving you like 5 minutes to create your own policy that we will be checking in and testing it out. So on your policy, I want you to manually block 2 websites. Choose a website, an easier website I want you to manually block them and add them in your policy during when you are doing the destinations. So I want to see that and review your policy. So I'm giving you like 5 to 10 minutes. Do that and let's review your policy. Okay. So manually add 2 domains. So make sure the domain is correct. So if you want to type it in full or you want to visit that particular website and copy it and come and paste it in your file, you could just type in the full thing https slash slash maybe myjournalonline.com or something. If you want to manually block it, you can also do it that way so that it'll capture everything for you. So add 2 websites and we'll test it out. So you can pick my job online, maybe www.facebook.com or anything, or HTTPS, anything,
Okay.
any website, and then you just put it manually. But without, even with the manually thing too, before you do that manually, you have to go through the steps and make sure you also choose something based on the categories and things. Okay, just do that and let's test it out on our test servers and see if this policy works. If you're having any issue, you could share your screen. So let me just make that clear so that we could go through it together. Give me a few minutes. I'll be back.
All right. Yeah, hello, Thomas.
Are you done with yours?
Yeah, but I wanted to ask, apart from the blocking of the two new websites, did you say we should do anything else?
The rest is perfect. So what actually you would like to do with the application, with and just tell us about it. See, maybe the
Okay.
category. If you just tell us about them.
Okay.
Thomas, can I share my screen so you take me through it?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's do.
Unless I give you permission, I'm just okay. I think I have. You already have permission. Yeah, really. Okay.